All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us His truth, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring in His work, and peace and salutations to the hopefully elect that are scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth. To you I say, Shalom. So there's going to be a quick basic lesson centered around Revelation 13 and 16 dealing with the mark and the fact that this mark right here is actually, physical and not spiritual. And a simple way to prove that is to just go into the word and find out what the original meaning of the word mark is in this verse right here. Because you got other places as well, that have the word mark in it, but it's not the same word in the Greek. All right, so that's that alone right there is going to cause a lot of Israelites to perish, because when you don't understand that this is an actual mark, that throws your whole judgment off, meaning that you don't really understand the will of Esau and the fact that they're going into this new fourth industrial revolution in which everything be digitalized and connected, So in order for them to control the humans or the people, well, they had to be connected to that grid. And the only way that they can accomplish that is by deceiving the masses into accepting his will by taking this physical mark, this electronic device that would be implanted within your hand or your forehead. Okay. And in return, this man would have the power over you to control you. Right. That's what he wants to do. So this word mark right here in Revelation 13 and 16 says Charagma.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
All right, so we're going to prove a quick point. So right here, this mark says in a Strong's G 5480, right? Now that's Charagma. That's a totally different word from what you would get in Romans 16. Let's just get this real quick, because you got to understand, like, the English language is a very deceptive language, and one word can have different meanings as such. So when you go into the original meaning of the word, then that's how you're able to understand, what it's actually talking about. So in Romans 16 and 17, it says, "Now I beseech you, brethren," it says, "mark them which cause divisions and offenses according or contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them." So this word mark right here is not the same mark as you get in Revelation 13 and 16. You see? So right here, the word mark is Strong's G 4648.
Strong's G 4648. Scapeo. Scapeo.
So there you go. Now that word mark right there is totally different from Revelation 13 and 16. And that means to look at, to observe, to contemplate, all right, to mark in the form of to fix one's eyes upon, direct one's attention to, okay? So this right here is saying, mark someone in the sense of, keep your eyes on them, put the scope on them and watch them, rather than Revelation 13 and 16, where it says, "And he, Esau, causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead." So right there, all right, this is not talking about the mark in the form of scopeo, as in watch, but rather in the form of a physical mark that would be inserted. So let's go into this word mark real quick. All right, Charagma, Strong G 5480. So Charagma means what? A stamp, an imprinted mark, or the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of it says anti-Messiah, but it's really talking about Esau, in which he is the ultimate anti-Messiah. All right. So it says the mark branded upon the horses. And that's what you would do. That's what anyone does with their cattle. with things that they own. Okay, you want to brand it with your identity. So essentially, that's what Esau is trying to do. These top banking elites, they want to gather all nations unto themselves and make them slaves, and he wants to put his name upon them. He wants to control them. Okay, this is the power that Esau is looking for, because ultimately he's looking to get his birthright back. All right. Now it tells you that Yahweh Shai, would inherit all nations. So they want to do that just on the left hand side. It's simple, and the only way they can do that is by having people deceptively, tricked into taking this mark due to the man-made famine and all the chaos that will be going on within the earth, where you're going to have these devils in the midst of all that chaos come out with this solution to deceive the masses, saying that this chip is going to be what you're going to need to sustain yourself or to survive. It's going to be pretty much put out there as a form of salvation. That's how he's going to deceive you into worshiping him. So as you continue reading, it says, a thing carved, sculpture, graven work, Strong's definition. It says, a scratch or etching, i.e. a stamp as a badge of servitude. You see, as a badge of servitude. So this mark, which is physical, of course, or obviously, is going to be presented as a badge of servitude to who? Esau. Okay, or sculpture, figure, statue. So let's go back up to the root word right here. And we're going to go into Strong G 5482, Karax. All right. And it comes from, or it gives you the definition of a pale or stake or a palisade. All right, so a stake. Let's look this up real quick, because it's clear as day once you go into these words of what this is talking about. So a stake, now this is something with a sharp point in it. Now what does that remind you of? That reminds you of a syringe, okay, through the spirit. So it's going to be something in the form of a sharp stake. So once that syringe is penetrating your skin, then that's when the chip will be inserted. All right. So a pale or stake or a palisade. Let's see what else they got. Yeah, Strong's definition. It says carasso, to sharpen to a point, through the idea of scratching a stake, i.e. by implication, a palisade or rampart. All right, military mound for circumvallation and a siege, a trench. So you get the point. It's something physical in the form of a stake. Now we're going to go back to Revelation 13-16. So now we should understand what it's talking about. It says, and he calls of all. Esau's going to cause all. All right. And the word cause of, when you go into it, it means to order, basically. So he's going to mandate. Matter of fact, let me go into it real quick. All right, to make. Let's get to the point. All right, definition I, to make one do something, to cause one to, okay? You have to carry out, to execute. So basically, it's going to be made mandatory. All right, now let's go back. It says, and it calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. Okay, that had the mark, the physical mark. Not the mark in the sense of you scoping someone or you identifying somebody, as in you're looking at them, you're examining them. It's talking about the physical mark here. It says, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that name goes into the identity, okay, of the beast system. Esau and his beast system was consisted of America, NATO, and the EU, okay? So that name is symbolic for well, it's going to be Esau pretty much putting his name upon you. All right. Matter of fact, let's go into that word name real quick. We're going to look at a few of these words. So this word name right here in the Strong's G 3686. What do you get? All right. I want to get to the point. The strong definition down here. It says a name, literally or figuratively, authority, character called surname. So what does it mean when you surname someone? Let's look this up real quick. So surname all right, so surname, it says, let me find a bit of definition. Salakia. All right, we just get this one right here from Britannica.com. It says, the name that is shared by the people in a family, right? Surname. So by taking this mark, you're going to take upon the name of the beast, which means that you're going to become one, as in you're going to become a part of Esau's family, all right? It's just like when you take upon a wife, she takes upon your name. So that's essentially what, you're going to be doing if you take this man's mark. It says in English, your surname comes after your first name and middle name. She took her husband's surname when they got married. As a spirit, you see? She took her husband's surname when they got married. So that's you taking upon the name of this beast, once you bow down to it. So let's go back and read it. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, right, or the name of the beast, okay, or the identity of the beast, or the number of his name. And that number goes into Accord 666. So you're not going to be able to operate in a society, which consists of buying and selling, unless you accept this man as your husband, in the spiritual sense. So also, let's go into this word buy right here. All right. That's showing you that this is all dealing with, transactions. So Strong G 59, it says to be in the marketplace, to attend it. See, to be in the marketplace, to attend it, to do business there, buy or sell. There you go, man. All right. So it's talking about literal buying and selling that you're going to have this mark in order to do so. All right. So from there, let's go and read verse 18. And so it says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. See, the number of the beast. In which it says, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 So the number of Esau is 666. So when you go into this word, 603. All right, Strong G 5516.
Strong's G 5516. Chai, Ksai, Stigma. Chai, Ksai, Stigma.
So there you go, all right? Chai, Psi, stigma. And so the last letter right here is a stigma. And when you click on this word, the root word right here, it says the Strong G 4742. And you click on that, you get stigma.
Strong's G 4742. Stigma. Stigma.
So the definition for that says a mark pricked, Salakia. A mark pricked in or branded upon the body. There you go. So at this point right here, man, there's no more explaining. This is just overkill. Because right here it's telling you that it's going to be a mark, a physical mark pricked in or branded upon the body. You see? So pricked right here means to make a small hole in something with a sharp point. You see? That stake. And it's going to be in the form of that syringe, man, to put that chip into you, to make a small hole in something. So right here it's saying to mark, a mark pricked or a small hole that's going to be put in or branded upon the body. It says to ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. See? And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods, right? So right here, man, it's letting you know plainly and clearly that, this is what this man is trying to do. It's nothing new under the sun, In ancient times, you would, you would brand your cattle. And matter of fact, let's go to Exodus 21 and verse 5 real quick, all right? And we'll start at verse 4. Let's read this in the NLT. So this is in the law. It says, if his master gave him a wife while he was a slave and they had sons or daughters, then only the man will be free in the 7th year, but the wife and children will still belong to the master. All right. So view this through spiritual lenses, as in right now, Esau being the master and we trying to be loose from this dude. So verse 5 says, but the slave may declare, I love my master, my wife, and my children. I don't want to go free. See that? So it goes on to say, if he does this, his master must present him before the Most High. Then his master must take him to the door or doorpost and publicly pierce his ear with an awl. After that, the slave will serve his master forever. So it's saying right here, man, if you are a slave unto a master and you are born wives and children upon him, then, ultimately they belong to him. And in modern day times, Esau owns all of us. All right. Through the contractual agreements, we got social security cards and IDs, so on and so forth, which makes him owners over us, So we're seeking to be loose from this man. And so he's going to use, a lot of men's wives and children to cause a man to not want to be freed. In the sense of the woman and the child, they're going to pretty much seduce the man into going and taking this man's mark. And that's going to be you signifying your allegiance to Esau by you going and taking that mark too, When times get hard, once the famine kicks in and things become very harsh out here, that's what you're going to see a lot of men do, So that's pretty much it right there, man. That pretty much explains it. So yeah, that mark in Revelation 13-16 on down is actually talking about a physical mark, So without that understanding, your whole judgment is thrown off, then you will eventually take that chip, not knowing that there's a penalty for doing that. When you go to Revelation 14 and verse 9, let's get this real quick. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying in a loud voice, with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, in this image, Esau's beast system, the image dealing with the philosophies, and receive his mark in their forehead or in their hand, see, the physical mark, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Now, this is talking about the thermonuclear destruction, all right, of America in that time. So it says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So that's going to be the result of you taking this man's mark. You're going to be subjected unto the wrath of Yahweh Bashmal Shah in the form of thermonuclear fire, and also the chariots that will, set this place as a lake of fire eventually, man. So yeah, when you don't have that fear, then you will take this mark, and that's going to lead to this damnation. So with that, Lord willing, you edify. Till next time, I say shalom.